Happy New Year. Probably the most unusual New Year's Eve you've had in a long time, most likely to a lot of people that are celebrating or will be celebrating. I've come today to give you a brief word of encouragement. In fact, I'm calling this 5 New Year Challenges. 5 New Year Challenges. The cool thing about this, it'll fit any week. It will fit any month because it is the word that has withstood the test of time. And I love to say that because it is so true. We're part of something eternal. This isn't just what's your religion. No, I'm part of a kingdom. I have covenant blood in my veins. I'm not. The whistle doesn't blow and lead me to other things. No. I'm a covenant kid. I'm actually something that had not existed before. I know a lot of people thought I was kind of strange, but in covenant, as a covenant kid, we all have that covenant blood in our veins. But I've come to encourage you as a covenant person and to give you encouragement and strength on this day. The last time that I visited with you, I spoke on and in fact, I called the word "stay in the game," and I told the story about Peter and John when they were going to the temple that day to worship, and the man was there and he was asking for alms. The old preacher said he was asking for alms. God gave him legs. Well, it's a play on words. And he said, I don't have silver, I don't have gold, but what I do have, it's in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Stand up and walk. Well, he blew the order of service that day and they were angry. The Sadducees said, we can't do anything about it because everybody has seen it. He's obviously been healed. How can we cut this off? And they brought him together and shook him up a little bit and incarcerated them for a while and intimidated them and kind of rough on them and said, now look, you go, but don't speak in this name again. Do you understand that? And they stood there and they said, thank you very much, and we appreciate what you're saying to us, but how can we be silent when we know what the Lord God has done, what Jesus Christ has done in the life of this man and in our lives? And well over 5,000 people heard it, and they were trying to stop the rumbling, but you can't stop the move of the Spirit. We live in a time today, though, where the powers that be and the powers that want to be even more. I mean, we're finding out now the insidious stuff has been going on for many, many years, and there's a dark, insidious thing going on. And the bottom line, it is targeted against people of faith. Because why? They look to a king. We're not lawless people, but we look to a king. We listen to the sound of a king there. And we live in a time today, though, where guys will be in a pulpit and said, I said the last time we were together, I'm afraid some of the dudes today that are waving their poems and a prayer and lattes in our faces on Sunday morning saying to us, look, why don't you just be good citizens and be quiet? And you three guys, y'all just bend your knee when the horn sounds. Well, you see something going on here. There's a tendency, though, of what we've all been through to be discouraged. The last time I was with you, I made this statement. If you still have a pulse, God still has a purpose. So if you're still living and breathing, don't be discouraged. God has a purpose for you today. 5 New Year challenges. You know where I come from out of the box when I talk to you about worship and the songs in our heart. That's who I am, and that's what I've done. And it's very, very hard. Linda makes a joke. She said, I think you might have a song for everything. Well, maybe so. You never know. But I was thinking today, preparing for this moment, and my mind went back to some of the songs of faith. And of course, you know me, I love the hymnology. I love the verbiage of the hymnology, and I love the way the language is together. But I also love some of the simple, we called them little courses that we used to sing. And those were born out of worship. Those were born out of a heart of devotion that went a little further than maybe the liturgical on the page of a hymnology. My friend Becky Pierce wrote this a few years ago, and I find myself sometimes saying this: I'm loving you more every day, loving you more every day. The more I know you, I want to show you I'm loving you more every day. Try it with me. I'm loving you more every day, loving you more every day. The more I know him, I want to show him I'm loving you more every day. We'd sing it and we'd tag it. I'm loving you more. Do it again. I'm loving you more. And I'm loving you more every day. how you're going to make it. That's how you'll stay in the game. Today I want to go a little bit further. And if that's your heart, if that's the way you're going to live, you're going to make it. Let me give you 5 New Year challenges. When we left the story of Peter and John, they said, now get out of here, don't preach in this name again. Well, the very next verse said, they went back to their friends and families, and they told them what had happened. And it said they got even louder. They prayed louder. And they prayed, Lord, grant your servants boldness. They were asking for boldness. And even in the midst of the attack and the foolishness, Lord, give us boldness that we may speak. They prayed for boldness. They prayed for strength. But they kept singing songs like, I'm loving you more every day. And they didn't sing it just on Sunday. It was Monday, Tuesday. That was who they were. They stayed on message. And this is how you stay in the game, but it is also how you continue each day in the game. A lot of, we'll say, oh yes, I'm going to do, but that daily thing. I want to give you 5 New Year challenges to encourage you. First off, before I give you these 5 things, I want to say it's so important to keep your worship fired up. Keep the songs, keep filling your heart with that. Be careful who's singing. You're going to follow the loudest voice. You're going to follow the loudest voice. Turn the TV off. The indoctrination that's going on. What's the word say? The word's not going to tell you to be foolish. The word's going to tell you to be smart, wise. The word's going to tell you to be very wise. The word is going to teach you to be observant. The word's going to teach you how to listen and how to know what is God and what is not. The word is going to tell you how to sustain your life and to sustain your family and to sustain your spirit. Sometimes it's important to speak out. Other times it's important not to speak out. Someone said it this way, talking about self-control. I like this statement. I saw a bumper sticker one time. It said, a wise man once said nothing. And it's knowing when to say it. It's knowing when to do it. How do you know these moments? Loving him more every day. Singing the worship. Reading the word. Being encouraged. Talking to somebody that will encourage you. Get around. Stay away from the negative friends. Stay away from somebody that's always going to pick something off of you. We don't need that. We can find that anywhere we want. But we need people that will encourage us. Be around people that will celebrate your victories. Well, I don't know anybody like that. Well, I'll help you. Let me know. Let some of us know. Let somebody know when you walk into a service. We'll rejoice with you in those things. We want to see things happen good. Well, I've done something. I have done something when I thought I was going to see you today. And I see a lot of television. And I understand a lot of what's going on right now. And I love the fancy news graphics. I love when I see the art, the movement of the art, and I love when I see those things. So what I've done, I've gone to no expense, man, no expense spared at all, to share with you some special graphics. I'm going to give you 5 words, 5 New Year challenges to help you to stay in the game. You ready for it? These are deep now. You know, Psalm 27:1 says it this way: the Lord is my light, and he is my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. In whom shall I be afraid? So, point number 1 out of the 5 points, the Lord is my light and my salvation. This is profound. Ready? You might want to write it down. Stay saved. Now, I spared no expense creating graphics for you today. Stay saved. You say, what do you mean? Stay saved. Stay in the game. Serve God. Stay faithful to what the Word says right now. The Lord is my light. He is my salvation. What do I need to know in a brand new year? Stay saved. Behave yourself. You say, well, that sounds like something my mom or my grandma would say. Well, they were right about those things. But even more, what is the word? Stay saved. Well, we live in a time now, though, where people, they got to have this, they got to have that. They're wanting to achieve. They're wanting to get more of this and more of that. Someone said, we're living in a time now where people are trying to buy things to impress people that don't even like them. You get in that rabbit, what do you call it? The hamster wheel. All right, the next thing, stay safe. The next thing, Psalm 107, verse 8 says this. Oh, that is an emphatic. That's not a begging. It's an imploring. It's a saying, oh man, come on, don't miss this. Oh, that men would give thanks to the Lord for his goodness and for his wonderful works to the children of men. For he satisfies, now that is Psalm 107, verse 9. He satisfies the longing soul. He satisfies the hungry soul. He fills it with goodness. You know, when you're seeking for something, have you ever said, I'm hungry, I just don't know what I want today? We get into that a little bit in our car periodically. We're out, maybe we've been gone all day or something, and Linda says, gee, I'm hungry, I don't know what I want. Well, I don't answer anymore, because I found out the first 5 things I mentioned, no, not that. I said, well, why don't you say it? Well, I need you to say it. Why? So you can say that. And we all are like that. That happens to all of us. And Lord, I don't know what I want, but I need you. And there's a time, or there's a sense in these times that we might be tempted to get out in left field when we're not seeing an immediate prayer. And we need to get to a point where we're satisfied with that word being enough to get us through to the next time. Also, it deals with the mindset of our walk. You know, Paul later on, and he addresses the concept of the contentment in our heart. You know, we've heard that godly contentment is great gain. We find ourselves content, even in difficult. Boy, he had some rough things that he dealt with. But it is that knowledge that he will satisfy the longing soul. There's great gain. It deals with the spirit of striving. So, stay saved was the first one. You ready for the new graphic? It's going to float across the screen. Stay satisfied. Stay satisfied. What's the Lord done for you? That's good. But there's more. You're breathing, aren't you? You still have a pulse. God's not finished with you. Stay diligent. Pay attention to what's going on. You're going to have to be proactive in this world. Don't just sit under a tree, wait for the heaven bus to pick you up. You may have to get involved in something. You may have to get involved in things even in our community to stand up not only for the word, but against foolishness. Because it's not a political thing. It is a thing that is being used in order to stop the message, just like the Sadducees says. You stop speaking in that name. Stay satisfied in your walk. You're not satisfied by saying, I don't need anything else. You're saying, I'm satisfied because God knows what I need. He satisfies the hungry soul. That's pretty good, isn't it? I hope you like these graphics. 1 Corinthians, then, as we go on in these 5 New Year challenges, it's our third one. 1 Corinthians 6 says it this way. And such were some of you, but you were washed. You were washed. You were sanctified. What does that mean? That means you were chosen and you were cleaned up and you were set apart as a vessel of honor, a vessel to be used for God's glory. You were sanctified. You were justified in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ by the Spirit of our God. And even in our walk, because I have been set apart, there are certain things that I do and there are certain things I don't do, because I have a love and a devotion for Him. He says, all things are lawful for me, but not everything is helpful to me. All things are lawful, but I will not be brought under the power of any different things. Why? Because I want to stay, number 3, I want to stay sanctified. I want to stay set apart. You know, all of us have this. We all have towels that we can't use. We all have soaps in our house that we can't use. These are things that have been set up. Oh, that's for the company to see. Don't use that. Where'd you get that towel? I got it out that front guest bed. You don't use that. Well, it's a towel. I just thought we've all done those things. But it's been set apart to bless somebody that will come. Well, we are vessels that have been set apart. In a house, in those days, they understood this language because there were certain vessels that were honored vessels that were only used for the special food. There were others used for cleaning and other things that needed to be done. But there were vessels of honor that had been set apart. Don't you want to be a vessel of honor? How do you continue? You stay sanctified. Yeah, you can do a lot. You're free to do a lot of things. But you know, when you really want to jump in, you want to be as ready and as clean and as ready for God to use you in any way possible. I've come to encourage you today. Stay sanctified as you walk into a brand new year. That's a good challenge for you in your everyday walk. Well, I can do this on God. I understand that. He's a loving, He's a forgiving God, full of grace, full of mercy for all of us. But the further we get into this thing, the closer we want to get, the better we want to set ourselves apart so that vessel will be used of God. Then what do? 1 Corinthians 15. I love this. This is one of my favorite scriptures. Named an album after it one day. But thanks be to God who gives us the victory, who helps us triumph through our Lord Jesus Christ. And then the next statement in that verse says, therefore, brethren, I want you to be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain. Knowing your labor is not. Can I just encourage you right now? Can I encourage you? I love the word. Thanks be to God who gives us victory. You know that. Therefore, be steadfast. This deals with our focus. Stay steadfast. Stay focused on the task at hand. Stay focused on the Word. What do you mean? I'm going to stay saved. I'm going to live in the Word. I'm going to do the Word. It's going to affect my behavior. It's going to affect my thinking. I want to stay satisfied. I might not see and have everything I want right now, but God has this. I'm going to stay sanctified. I'm going to set myself apart in my walk during this year so that I'll be a vessel that God can use, and then I'm going to stay steadfast. Don't you like somebody that is steadfast? That's how you know somebody. We all know people that, well, I see some people in my mind right now that maybe I haven't talked to in a while. Maybe they live in another city, and maybe it's been a couple years. But if I call them on the phone, I said, there's a need right now, and I need some help on something. When do you want me there? Because they're in the Word. In my travels over the years, going more than a few times to different churches, and the same church over and over a few times, you see a group of people that are always there. They're steadfast. They're on the job. Are they perfect? No. Have they had problems? Yes. Have they even had disagreements? Yes, they have. But they're steadfast. And the Lord is steadfast. I love the word. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new. We sing it. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. But we're looking for people to serve God in this new year, in this new challenge, that will be steadfast. You can set your watch to them. So we're going to meet tomorrow at 6:30. They're going to be there. Or we're going to meet next Thursday night at 3:05 in the afternoon. They'll be there. Don't you want to be that kind of person that God can say, he's steadfast. He's walked through difficult things. He's had a rough year. He's had some disappointments. Some he brought on himself, but others, man, he's walked through difficult. But look at that. Look, Job, look at what he's walked through. Look at these different ones. Let it be said, a challenge that our life needs to be a life that will be steadfast toward God. So stay steadfast. Finally, the fifth one. You ready? Ephesians 6. I love this one. Be strong. And by the way, he's getting near the end of his writing, and the first word is really finally. And this is a finally word because I'm running here right now. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the power of His might. I want you to be strong. I want you to put on the whole armor of God. Didn't just say the armor, the whole armor. Buy into the whole plan, the whole armor of God, that you will be able to stand. By the way, that's the object of this game, that you will be able to stand. He said, be strong in the Lord. Fifth point. Wrong one. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. Boy, it seems like things are breaking all around me. I don't know. But God knows. I'm going to stay true to the Word. I'm going to stay strong. Finally, brethren, be strong in the Lord. This is not some believism. This is not some I think I can type idea. No, it is be strong in the Lord. That is understanding that you will only be strong under the auspices of having the armor of God on us, that we can withstand the schemes of the devil that come at us. Stay strong. Stay strong. Stay strong. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord. Be strong in the power of His might, that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. That's the object of the game, that you'll be left standing. And as people of God who will stay saved, stay satisfied, stay sanctified, stay steadfast, and stay strong, that's a good New Year's challenge. That's a good way to begin. Any of you have a rough or bumpy start, just pick up on the next moment. I'm going to do this. I'm talking about staying power in a brand new year. staying power in a brand new year. Sometimes it's not always based on what you see. There's a couple, seen some of these guys on the football field, and they look like some of the little guys. Maybe the guys are so big, but they're the small ones, and maybe they don't look quite as muscular, but they're fast, man. They're returning those kickoffs and those punts. They're running through that group. They look like an unlikely physical specimen, but they're running. They are doing those things. It's amazing. It might not be based on what you see, but I'm going to ask you to stay. Stay in the Word. Stay in the Word. This is 5 New Year challenges. Well, what do you mean? Well, let me give you something to shoot for. Somebody sent me this last week, and I thought I'd share it with you right now. It's not based on what you might see with your own mind, but look back at what God has done. Here's something to shoot for as a brand new year. Why don't you try praying like Nehemiah? Why don't you obey like Daniel? Why don't you lead like Moses? Serve like Martha. Believe like Mary. Fight like David. Educate and preach like Paul. Build like Noah. And love like Jesus. Let's stay in the game. Let's stay in the game. He's good. His mercy endures forever. It's a pretty good challenge for a brand new year. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you and grant you peace. I hope to see you at LifeGate soon. Go check us out on Facebook, LifeGate Church Ministries. LifeGate Church Ministries on Facebook. Join us. I hope to see you Sunday. See you.